Welcome back to another GTZ video. If you haven't gotten a chance to look back at some of our past videos from a little ways ago, I had one last week where I caught this insane bluegill. Like, this thing I had to have been like around 2 pounds. Garvey's been posting a little bit, Zach as well. We're trying to keep up on our YouTube here. With summer, things have been slowing down. I've been busy with work and such, but I don't know, we try to get out what we can for you guys. Today's video, as you read the title probably, it's focusing on Osoyoos Lake sockeye salmon. So these fish, personally, they mean a lot to me and my family. I am indigenous, so First Nations. Like, my family originates from the Okanagan here. It allows us certain fishing rights above other people, and it allows me to catch fish for my family. And when other people, this is a really touchy subject, because I'm trying not to make it sound like I am like privileged of other people, although like I do feel like I'm lucky, but this is like my family's traditional ways. This is like what my ancestors did, and it's a very touchy subject, and I'm sure people will get offended, and there's going to be comments saying, oh, you shouldn't have said this, shouldn't have said that, but I'm just going for it. I fish for my family. I fish, like, the sockeye I catch is to feed my family. People might not agree with like certain rules, like I can fish these salmon when I want, how I want. A lot of people are like, oh, like, you shouldn't be snagging salmon, like, you shouldn't be doing this, but like people have to realize, like, I'm catching these fish from my family. This is what my ancestors did. We're lucky enough that this year that there's going to be a recreational opening. DFO just announced it. It's July 23rd. It's 11:40 p.m. at night. I've been up late. I just filmed another video just before this. I just got home not too long ago. They announced an opening on July 31st. Whoever's watching this, you probably already know that. You're probably excited. You want to check out like what I'm doing. So hopefully I can help you out. I've been fishing these fish. My first day out was July 6th this year. Usually, like, I've caught sockeye as early as June 21st was 2 years ago. I caught one that early. But this year the run's looking great. Past Bonneville Dam. So how the Okanagan works is, like, so our fish come all the way up the bottom of the Columbia there. So Bonneville Dam's the first dam at the bottom there. So there's a fish counter there that counts the fish, and there's a website, anyone can check it out. It's called Fish Passage Center, and you can track the fish coming up. It doesn't just have sockeye, it has steelhead, shad, chinook, all different chinook size, like spring, summer, and then so how it works is that it tracks fish coming all the way up the different dams, all the way up the Columbia, and then right into the Okanagan. So the first one's called the Bonneville Dam. So this counts the fish coming immediately from the ocean. So once this counter stops producing, that's the final number of fish. It's starting to slow down. We're having fish coming in at like 20,000 per day at its peak. Now we're down, I think, I'm not exactly sure on the number because I checked it this morning, but we had, I believe, 600 pump up through Bonneville Dam today. For this year so far, we have a grand total of just over 338,000 fish. And then they work their way up, and then the last dam before the fish hit the Okanagan is Wells Dam. Wells Dam is sitting at about 170,000 fish right now, so like all those fish really pumping up. It's estimated that about 95 to 97% of those Bonneville Dam fish are going to make it into the Okanagan. There's not a lot of other spawning territory coming up other than the Okanagan River for these sockeye salmon. So we're gonna get possibly like 300,000 fish pumping up into the Okanagan, which is great to hear. It was estimated to be about 100 and, it's hard to say. Last week it was 100,000 fish in, I guess, Osoyoos Lake, and about 10,000 into Skalak. But anyways, that big sidetrack there. Moral of the story for that is that, like, there's a lot of fish. There's enough fish for everyone. There's going to be a First Nations harvest by Okanagan Nation Alliance. So Okanagan Nation Alliance, ONA, they're a big part of my life because that's my job. Like, that's where I work. I work at the fish hatchery. I work with these fish. I went to school to work with fish. I went to Vancouver Island University. I got my fisheries and aquaculture technology diploma there, and now I'm back helping the fish come back into the Okanagan, which is like a big part in like my life, and it means so much to me to be helping out these fish. Love my job. But ONA is going to be doing a harvest. They're going to be tracking people as they're fishing. Like after the 31st, when people are fishing, there's going to be a boat going around. They're not enforcing or anything. They're not going to write you a ticket. They're going to come up to you and be like, hey, like, how's your day going? How many have you caught? How long have you been out for? What are you using? Just simple questions like that. It's a krill survey, so it means no harm. They just are going to put this towards like a grand total of like how many fish were caught within the Okanagan in that recreational fishery. So the limit is going to be 2 fish per day starting July 31st. The end date for that is going to be to be determined. It's not determined yet. Don't mark my words on this. Don't listen to anything on the internet that you see. Of course, like, people see stuff on Facebook. It's like, oh, I can do that now, or they watched a YouTube video and like, oh, I can do that. No. Just because you watch something, make sure you get the facts. Make sure the facts are right. The DFO website will have the Region 8 regulations on it. That's your best source. If you're going out anytime after the 31st, like, one day might just be closed. I've heard stuff about August 12th is the next update, so it'll be like about a 2-week period to catch your fish, 2 per day. How many? Like 24 fish per person. That's a lot of fish. Like, if you're willing to put in that time and dedicate yourself to catching your fish every day, then good on you. Like, that's a good amount of fish. I can definitely think that can feed a person for a year. 24 fish, yeah. Definitely if you get like your family out, you get your kids out. Everyone has their fishing licenses. Kids don't even need fishing license. You can just bring them along. You can catch their quota as well. This fishery in the Okanagan, it brings in a lot of economy. It's great for the community. A lot of people are going to be here. I'm super excited. I probably won't personally be fishing at the time of it. I'll probably fish elsewhere, maybe try Skalak or something, just because I'm personally allowed to. And this draws me into another subject. The opening is in Osoyoos Lake. The sockeye go into Skalak Lake. You're not allowed to fish the sockeye in Skalak Lake unless you're First Nations. There's no recreational opening there. So the sockeye fishing in Skalak Lake will not be allowed other than First Nations. So I'm probably going to personally head up there and get away from everyone, because in past years during this opening there's been like some mornings there's like 150 boats in this one area. It's insane. It's super fun, super great to see, but it's so much chaos. And like, definitely, like, for myself, like I'm going to be running a lot of gear. So things just get so complicated when there's just so many people around. But at the same time, it's so thrilling. I just love it. It's a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of what else I have to say right now. Oh yeah, just before I get into the gear, just to clear things up, I am First Nations. I'm going to show you certain things that I do that you may not be allowed to do. I'm not sure who you are as a viewer, but make sure you read up on your regulations. You know what you have to do Don't go off of this video and say, oh, I watched this on YouTube and this guy was doing this, that means I'm allowed to do it. No, that is not the case here. Make sure you know your personal regulations. I'm gonna try to explain this in for everyone, but at the same time, it's like, don't be thinking like you can do certain things because I'm doing it, because like I want to say I'm different because there's other people that are fishing like me out there, but you can't just go off of other people. You want to know your own personal regulations. You want to have your own sources and say, okay, this is what I can do. I know I can do that. I'm going to fish that way. Okay, starting with the gear. This is what matters. This is what you came for. I just blah, 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 blah. Sockeye, super easy. Everyone who's watching this, you will catch fish, guaranteed. If you don't, then comment and be like, I didn't catch my fish, something's wrong. If you watch this video, I guarantee you can get your 2 sockeye limit per day, every day. If you don't get within 2 hours, I will be upset, but you should be able to get it within 15 minutes, I'd say. You should be able to get your 2 fish within 15 minutes. Okay, going off. Sockeye, everyone thinks pink, and like, yeah, they're not wrong. Like, they like pink. Here we go, pink hoochie. I run the small hoochies. You can run big hoochies. I've run big hoochies. I do run big hoochies. I've caught sockeye on them. Don't get me wrong, but these small hoochies, they work. What size are they? Measure. Just over 2 inches. Those are the ones that work the best. Working your way up. So from the hoochie, your hook, single barbless for most people. Some people, you can use what you want. But Osoyoos Lake, the regulation is a single barbless hook during the salmon season. So if that applies to you, then apply that. From the hook, I have little beads inside of my hoochies. I'm just trying to see if I have some that are accessible right there. Right here, so this will show it. Right here, I have a little bead. Can you see that? That's not, maybe not, right there, little bead, hook, bead. In this one, I have 3 beads in here, just so that hook hangs back from that hoochie a little bit. If you don't have that bead in there, that hook's gonna slide way up into your hoochie and then go through like the nose of it. It's not really gonna work. So hook, bead, as many beads as you want, depending how far you want that hook to hang back. I run 3 on this one. This one I believe has 2. But working your way up is the leader. I run heavy leaders just because I do a technique of fishing called stacking. I won't get into that because that's irrelevant, but your leader, you should be fine. Like these fish are probably averaging from, I'd like to say, 2 pounds to 3 pounds. These aren't big sockeye. These aren't like the big sockeye you see in the Fraser. You're not catching 8-pound fish. You might catch a 5-pounder in the Okanagan, and that's like a big one. Some of them you'll catch are like under a pound. You'll catch them like 14-inch sockeye, real small. Leader length, this is where you have to listen. Boom, boom, boom. This one is at 19 inches. That is on the long side for me. I like to run mine from 17 to 19 inches. Just depends how I tie my knot. But I like to keep right around that 17-inch mark. But obviously this one's a little bit longer. That doesn't matter though. Color. In this one, I have a pink striped white. It's pretty much white though. I like to call it white. White, pink. This one I've got pink. All different color pinks. I have 4 different color pinks. I have 2 different color whites. I have like white with pink dots, white with pink stripes. Everything works. Now, This is where it gets special. Right here, this one, I call it the green machine. This thing has been insane this year. But the green machine only works late, so late in the morning is what I mean. It picks up around 9:30 and it'll run hard until about 1 o'clock. Whereas pinks and whites run all day long. But this green machine, like, I don't know what it is, but like at a certain time of day, it really pisses those fish off. So yeah, 17 to 19 inch leaders. Try to stick around 17. Go longer if you want, but I'm sure you won't have a problem catching fish. Flashers. I have so many different kinds of flashers, all different kinds, but I picked out my 3 favorites, my 3 like hottest ones. The green with the orange stripe. This is a similar one, but it has the clear plate on it instead of the green plate. And then this is a new one that I started running last year, and this is just green and gold kind of. And this one has been working very well. I'm running all sorts of different flashers. There's, I don't even know, there's just like endless, like all sorts of, I just tons and tons. They all work. You shouldn't have a problem catching a fish. Like I'm sure as long as you listen to this video, I can almost guarantee you your fish. But so we got hook, hoochie, leader, flasher. Don't forget your beads and your hoochie to bring that hook a little bit back. I would recommend 3 beads, 2 is fine. And then next, my rod. I'm running a 8-foot rod, Shimano with a mooching reel. Run whatever rod you have, it'll be fine. I wouldn't recommend running a spinning reel with weights. I don't know, I see people doing crazy things out for the sockeye, I don't know. But next is your depth. So your downriggers, you're gonna struggle to catch the sockeye if you do not have a downrigger. Plain and simple. You can have a little hand crank one, you're fine, you're good. Crank that thing all day long. If you have powered ones, you're lucky, you're awesome. If you're running weights, I don't even know how many weights you need to get down to where these fish are. The highest I've caught a fish this year was 45 feet. The deepest I've caught a fish this year, and the deepest I've been fishing this year is 94 feet. The most fish, so how I fish and how I'm allowed to fish because I'm indigenous is like I stack lines off of my downrigger line, and I can fish multiple different depths at the same time, having different lines, so I get to cover a lot more ground. Fish from 55 feet to as deep as 80. If you have 2 downriggers out, 2 rods out, I would say I would put 1 at 55 and I would put 1 at 65. And that would be the depths I would say to fish at. When you get out in the water, you're going to see all these fish on the fish finder, and all these fish are going to be about like 50 feet to like 55 feet, and that's where the schools are going to be. You'll see them on your fish finder, and you'll be like, why did he tell me to fish below that? So when you're fishing below, of course, like your line comes up, but the fish at the bottom of these schools seem to be more active and biting more, like, than those top ones. Like, I wasn't picking a lot of fish up of those top layers of those schools. Those bottom fish are the ones that are more aggressive and biting. It must be something about like having that flasher down below them that they can dive down on it. I'm not too sure on that, but fish below the school of fish is what I'm trying to get at here. What else is next? Covered gear, rod, depth. Oh, speed. 1.3 miles per hour to 1.5 miles per hour. Got it? 1.3 to 1.5. Yes, that is slow. Very, very slow. A lot of salmon fishing out in the ocean, you're running like, I don't know, 2.2, 2.3, like way like in the 2s. These sockeye go super slow. You want your flashers to just be like nice slow whip, slow motion. and yeah, 1.3 miles per hour to 1.5 miles per hour. I don't know what that is kilometers per hour. You do the math, but that's what I run it at. That's the speed I go all day. If I'm going faster than that, sometimes I'll leave it a little bit. If I'm going like 1.6, 1.7 maybe. If I'm going slower, like 1.2, I'll leave it for a bit. But as soon as I see like 1.1 or 1.8, I'm not catching fish. Like I gotta stay within that range, 1.3 to 1.5 miles per hour. Speed, gear, depth. Look at your rules. Know your regulations. Know your regulations to yourself. Don't go off of what other people are doing. If you see other people doing things, doesn't mean you can do it. There's a lot of people involved in the First Nations fishery. Like I know a lot of people out there, and there's been about like 5 other boats out there with me lately. You'll see them stacking and doing certain things. Just because you see that doesn't mean you can do it. So know your own regulations. Be safe on the water. Watch out for boaters. The boaters have been insane this year. Like the etiquette, the boating etiquette, like all the speed boats and everything has just been brutal. I'm sure people will agree on this. So be safe. Stay out of everyone's way. I highly recommend not fishing the sockeye fishery alone. You kind of always need someone driving the boat, because when you're handling a fish, fighting a fish, netting a fish, everything, and you leave your boat, you can't really do that here because there's going to be so many boats in your area. Every second, every moment you're out there, you're going to have a boat within 20 feet of you on either side. So have someone with you, just as like a safety precaution. Location, fish anywhere within the boundaries, you can catch your fish. There's a ton of fish in that lake right now. My secret spot, I won't tell you. I'm just kidding, no. I like to fish right out front of the cottages, the Osoyoos cottages. There's a deep hole in front of the warehouse there. Stay away from the river mouth. You run into too much milfoil and crap. But kind of, I think it's going to be a measure of like fish where you can fish, because there's going to be so many people out there. Other than that though, I've been talking for 23 minutes. You're probably bored already. Probably nobody watched this. Thanks to those like 5 people that watched all 23 minutes of me just blah 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 blah. Yeah, that's it. Now I'm gonna go catch a fish. Actually tomorrow morning. It's 12 o'clock at night. I have to get up at 6 and load up the boat and head out. So I'm going to bed. I'll see you on the water. There's one.
How long will that take us? 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
11 minutes.
Oh man, that's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Yeah, I used the cloth last time.
There's one. There?
Yeah, you're there.
No. You're kidding. Really? Feisty.
Wow.
Oh, me. Okay, settle down. Oh, fish over here.
Fish.
No big ones? Right? No.
No, that's not a blue pup.
No? No. Yeah. And so it's, like I said, it was like, oh, fish. Yeah.
Let's get that sucker this time.
Can't go 5 in a row. Sounding good. Sounding good. I don't see the white one yet. Oh, there we go. There goes fish. There's a fish. Might be on the rod.
It looks like it.
Nope.
Nope. Big one.
That's a few years old.
That's might be a 5-year-old fish. Here, I was gonna show this to the camera. There we go. This thing has been up here for a while.
Yeah.
Come on. Alrighty. There you go. Oh, he's just running. That is an Osoyoos Lake sockeye. This one right now is a little red for this time of year. He must have been one of those first fish to come up this year. But nice fish overall. One of the bigger ones we caught today, for sure.
How old do you think that fish is?
This is a 4-year-old fish. Yeah, 4-year-old. Dinner.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
Here, I'll net it.
Yep. There we go. Pure silver.
That is a beautiful Osoyoos Lake sockeye.
Wow, look at that.
Oh, hook popped out.
Popped out. Right, now you're about to clean up.
Okay, perfect. I'll put the camera in.
Awesome.
Alrighty. Whoa! There we have it. That is an Osoyoos Lake sockeye salmon. Just the end of the day here, we're cleaning up. That's number 16 for today. Wow, crazy fish. But overall, great day. We're battling the wind this morning and trying to get our fish, but we lost a lot of fish today. 16 is not a bad number. Other than that, though, I didn't get a ton of footage of me actually fishing, but like hopefully just showing you guys the gear and what to use, what speeds to go, all that kind of stuff. Hopefully enjoy that part and use that in your fishing next week when the recreational season opens up.